For thousands of years, the pyramids of Egypt have stood as silent giants, monuments to human achievement and mystery. They draw millions of visitors each year to the Giza Plateau. Scholars continue to debate their purpose, their construction methods, and their symbolism. Hollywood spins tales of aliens and lost civilizations, but these stories obscure a far more profound truth. The truth is this: the pyramids were built by Africans. The architects, the engineers, the laborers, all Africans who possessed an extraordinary mastery of science, mathematics, and artistry. This is a story erased from many textbooks, a story buried beneath layers of myth and colonial distortion. But here, today, we peel back the falsehoods and reclaim the story of Black genius that birthed these wonders. Africa built the pyramids, not aliens, not Greeks, Africans. From the banks of the Nile through centuries of triumph and tragedy, this is the truth the world tried to hide. Long before the rise of Rome and the Greek city-states, before the cradle of Western civilization, there was Kemet, the land we know today as Egypt. Kemet means the Black Land, a name that reflects both the fertile Nile soil and the rich dark skin of its people. Look closely at the statues, the wall carvings, the portraits. Broad noses, full lips, tightly coiled hair. These are unmistakable African features. Nubians, Kushites, Saharans, ancestors of millions across the continent. By around 2686 BCE, the step pyramid of Djoser rose at Saqqara. This was not merely a tomb, but a revolution in architecture, designed by Imhotep, priest, healer, architect, and the world's first recorded engineer. Imhotep's legacy is monumental. He combined religious vision and scientific knowledge to build Egypt's first stone pyramid, a precursor to the Great Pyramids of Giza. This was an African polymath, a visionary whose influence shaped millennia to come. As Kemet grew, so did its spiritual and political power. The pharaohs were not distant kings, but divine rulers, intermediaries between the heavens and the people. Their monuments were expressions of cosmic order and eternal life. Between 2600 and 2500 BCE, during the fourth dynasty of the Old Kingdom, the Great Pyramids of Giza were built, monumental testaments to African skill and dedication. Pharaohs Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure commissioned pyramids that remain among the largest structures on Earth. The Great Pyramid of Khufu was constructed around 2560 BCE. It stands 481 feet tall, composed of more than 2.3 million limestone blocks, some weighing as much as 15 tons. These stones were transported from quarries up to 500 miles away near Aswan. How did they accomplish this? Not with slave labor, as commonly claimed. Excavations have uncovered well-planned workers' villages, complete with bakeries, breweries, medical facilities, and skilled laborers respected for their craft. These builders were fed, housed, and honored, participating in a sacred mission, united by devotion to the divine pharaoh and the gods. The construction required genius-level mastery of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. The pyramids were precisely aligned to the cardinal points and the stars, particularly Orion's belt and Sirius, celestial bodies central to Egyptian cosmology. The builders used copper chisels, wooden sledges, and ingenious ramps lubricated with water and mud to drag massive stones across the desert. Today, modern engineers still debate the exact techniques, but archaeological evidence makes one thing clear. This was African mastery, born of centuries of knowledge passed through generations. The pyramids were not just tombs, they were celestial stairways, designed to ensure the pharaoh's passage to the afterlife. Centuries later, as Egypt became a prize for empires, the true history of its builders was erased. From the Persians to the Greeks, Romans, Arabs, French, and British, Each wave of conquest brought cultural theft and distortion. Herodotus, the Greek historian, visited Egypt around 450 BCE and was awestruck by its ancient grandeur. He noted its advanced science, monumental architecture, and rich culture. But as European colonialism advanced, it became inconvenient to acknowledge that Black Africans created one of humanity's greatest civilizations. So the story was rewritten. Statues were defaced, noses and lips chiseled away. Artifacts were stolen. The black skin of pharaohs was bleached white in paintings and sculptures. Napoleon's 1798 expedition to Egypt brought a cadre of artists and archaeologists who perpetuated this myth, producing sanitized images that erased African features. Museums across Paris, London, and New York amassed plundered relics, presenting a distorted narrative that disconnected Egypt from its African roots. This systematic rewriting severed Egypt's legacy from the continent that birthed it. But truth has a way of resurfacing. Modern science confirms what ancient Africans always knew. DNA studies published in 2017 revealed that ancient Egyptians shared close genetic links with other African populations to the south. Scholar Cheikh Anta Diop, in the mid-20th century, used melanin analysis and cultural evidence to prove the African origins of Egypt's rulers. Linguists trace the sacred language Medu Nader to modern African tongues. And history reveals Nubian kings of the 25th dynasty, circa 744 to 656 BCE. Black rulers like Pianki and Taharqa, who restored Egypt's monuments and traditions. African empires from the Sahel to West Africa, including Mali and Songhai, retain oral traditions linking their ancestry to the Nile Valley. The stolen legacy is being reclaimed. The pyramids are not just stone structures. They are memories carved in granite and limestone. They are proof of African ingenuity, spirit, and endurance.